an inept Dodger season that went up and down and over and under and around that had problems with people, their hamstrings, and all of these things. Pitchers couldn't pitch, hitters can't hit, the whole deal. Kershaw not being sharp the first 4 months of the year, and all of this stuff. All of the dialogue, all the narrative, all the negativity, all of that stuff is just suddenly over. And as it should be. And now we're in the playoff mode, and now we're being intercut to the ball boy and the clubhouse attendants putting up protective plastic in front of the lockers and getting out the champagne and intercutting with the champagne and a guy holding it up and somebody commenting off stage, that looks really cold. Boy, that's been on ice for a long time.
Well, the Dodgers have lost 4 in a row or something, so it was being chilled for a while.
It is in a culture where every single thing has been blown out of proportion. It's all out of proportion. And it was aggravating to watch it. And when we come back, we'll continue this diatribe of over celebration. And I want to talk about what those people did to Alana Rizzo in that locker room.
One of the announcers for the Dodgers. Yeah, we'll talk about that. It is the PM Show Weekend Edition, heard every weekend at this time here on CR. We do the show live on Wednesdays, 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. Call in and talk to us at that time, 818-353-1276. Email Fred. It's Fred Dreyer at crntalk.com, or follow him on Twitter, Fred_Dreyer, D-R-Y-E-R. Did you tweet last night? He'll tell you all about it.
I just sneaked into my kids' rooms and took temperatures while they're sleeping, thanks to my Exergen thermometer. All I did was swipe their foreheads for a few seconds. It didn't even wake them up. My sister, the nurse, told us about the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, and it's the best. Real value for the money and truly a lifesaver. Now I don't have to deal with ears or rears, if you know what I mean.
I'm Dr. Frank Pompey, founder of Exergen. Thousands of hospitals and clinics rely on temporal scanners. I'm confident you will too.
The Exergen Temporal Scanner. Pick one up at Costco and other fine retailers, or visit us at Exergen.com.
I spend my days helping others. It's rewarding, just not always financially. So I got TIAA CREF. They were founded to help people like me meet our financial goals. They've got so many industry accolades, it's unreal. I like taking care of people. Sometimes that even includes myself.
Intelligent investing for the long term. Just what you'd expect from a company that's created to serve and built to perform. Visit TIAA.org. TIAA CREF, Individual Institutional Services, LLC. This testimonial is an actual portrayal. Investing involves risk. Individual results will vary.
Welcome back to the PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. It's PM Show on Sports. I'm Michael Horn, the star of our show. Football acting legend, sports legend, Mr. Fred Dreyer. We're talking a little bit here about playoff baseball and the celebrations. This last week, the Dodgers clinched the National League West. And the magic number had been 2 forever. They couldn't win a game, and they finally beat the Giants. Giants lost, Dodgers win, 2-game sweep. Dodgers clinch. It goes into the locker room, and as it does on most teams these days, the people go ape. So let's pick up the story now, Fred. You're watching this, and they go into the locker room.
Here's what it is: they're intercutting from the field in the 9th inning, and they're setting up this. I should use the word masturbatory, because it is appropriate for this part of the time. Thank you so much. It is very appropriate. Courtney Kader has just given me a beautiful cup of coffee.
Our producer. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, they're cutting in and they're showing the locker room getting set up.
They're intercutting all this stuff, setting up this event.
In the locker room.
Like the game's not enough. So they're going to set up the event, and so they're cutting back and forth to
There's plastic everywhere, right?
Plastic being put up.
Protect the lockers.
And they did such a great job. I was thinking, I'd like to have that guy come over to my house and work on my yard.
Painting, when you want to,
yeah, I want him to come over and work on my yard and tape some stuff off so I can get the spray gun out.
Yeah.
So here we are, and now there's a shot of a tub full of champagne bottles and red cans full of beer.
Cold.
And every gee, how cold do you think we can get it? This team deserves cold champagne. So they're going back and forth, and I'm thinking to myself, this is. suddenly the game, has now turned, into a slice of bad taste.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you something, folks, and I always say these things. I hate to be a downer on some of this stuff, because there's more to it than you think. Nowadays, media culture and everything. I've been in these things. I think most people in life have been given an award of some sort, and I don't think you completely go bananas. And I got the feeling. Here's what it was. I got the feeling, and I said this to you earlier, Mike. I got the feeling that the team was living up to an expectation of really now celebrating, blowing off the steam of a long 162 games and all the. I kept thinking, a bottle of champagne for every pulled hamstring. And
that's why they had so many.
Yeah, of course.
Every pulled hamstring. That's why they had 18 cases of champagne.
No, I know, and I kept thinking. I said, this is obscene what they're asking us to go along with. Now here it is. Alana Rizzo.
She's the announcer that goes and does the
such a great job
with the players after the game.
She is great.
For the Dodgers.
Yep,
for the Dodgers.
She's great. And I'm saying this poor girl is going to get.
I said the same thing to myself.
Just drenched.
Yeah.
And it was beyond that. It was abusive.
Yes.
And these guys got out here and they just decided. I mean, if they'd have had another 50 bottles, they'd have opened those. Yeah. They had to open up every single one. So every player had 2 or 3 bottles.
They had goggles on. They had these safety goggles that you.
No, they were deep sea
masks.
No, you could have gone 35 feet below, and with these goggles they had.
They all had goggles on because it gets in your eyes and it burns.
It stings, isn't that something? Yeah. Well, Alana Rizzo didn't have them on there.
She kept taking them on and off.
Yeah, I know. It got into her eyes, and it was ridiculous. It was used on camera, and they just kept pouring it on her, and that stuff's cold.
They were pouring it on each other, but pouring it on the announcers.
But
is crazy.
Enough already.
Yes,
I mean, enough. I mean, you won. Okay, as Charlie Steiner says, and that's how the West was won. That guy, So
he didn't show up in the locker room.
Yeah, they were waiting for him. Believe me.
And then they started taking baby powder and dumping baby powder. I didn't see them do it in their own faces. They did that to the announcer, to Alana Rizzo. They took
a plate of it,
baby powder,
threw it in her face.
I
saw it.
I mean, that has to be like. Dastardly to your system to inhale baby powder in your lungs.
But really, is that part of the celebration?
Apparently, for them that it
was.
I was very embarrassed for the Dodgers.
Here's what it was. I told you this. There was a John Hartung who does a great job in studio.
Yeah,
he's with Nomar.
He and Nomar Garciaparra and usually Oral Hershiser in the main, kind of like the
they know
the ESPN Sports Center. Well, a lot of people don't get access sports from
Time Warner, but they're in studio.
They anchor it.
They're in studio and they cut away to the live remote
kept going back and forth.
in San Francisco's clubhouse.
Yeah.
And so here you have not only these guys dressing themselves in the champagne and drenching Alana Rizzo in champagne, they now have I don't know who got what, but it was foot powder or something, and they put it on a plate or something, and they threw it in her face.
I know. I thought, and I kind of heard a scream or something, maybe from her. I thought someone was going to get injured.
Now, John Hartung says
this is
very key.
What did he say?
He says, as a voiceover now, because they're commenting. They're commenting.
You can see the mayhem going
the
on.
Studio,
the mayhem's going on the
to the locker room,
and you can't hear a lot of it.
He says, looks like something Yasiel Puig would do.
Yasiel Puig, the Dodger right fielder who's been out for
the guy that has a brain like a walnut. That guy who hasn't figured out who to throw the ball to.
Was he there last night? We couldn't tell.
Nobody. He didn't show up.
No, I don't think so. Because it would have been nothing.
No, he's in Cuba somewhere.
Is that where he's
doing? Yeah, that's what he's doing. Yeah. And so he's trying to find a boat to get back on the island.
Okay.
And so yeah, you can go ahead.
Go ahead.
So anyway, so he makes this comment. Now I'm laughing because I was the first one, and you know this to be true. I was the first one when Yasiel Puig showed up on the scene to say, there's something wrong about this guy.
You did say that.
There's something wrong about him.
Everybody loved him at first. He seemed like he had a great arm. He's got great tools, great arm. He had a good bat.
That's true.
He could run.
That's also true.
He was a 5-tool guy.
Here's what else is also true. He doesn't think of anybody but Yasiel Puig.
Yeah.
He is a child. And I don't know. I don't honestly know if he'll ever straighten it out in the proper amount of time for them to say, yeah, he's worth the investment. Now, wait a minute. So he now, after 65 pulled hamstrings, this guy now is nowhere to be seen, but his legacy lives on because earlier in the season when he was drawing a paycheck and showing up on the field, he comes out of a locker with a giant pail of Gatorade.
Yes.
Now, I don't know the girl's name. It's not Alana Rizzo.
I think it was Alana.
No, it's not. It was not at this time. It wasn't.
All right, the one I saw was
her. It wasn't. The tall girl. Forgive me.
She's known as the tall girl.
Yes, that's what she. Well, she is. She's taller than
she's good.
Than Jerry Hairston.
She's
good.
Jerry Hairston, another announcer. Yes.
Yeah, right. So
former player.
Yeah. And that whole thing was about him, in the locker room toward the end.
Well, he didn't get into the locker room last night until towards the end, and then they started throwing stuff on him.
Well, he's going to relive all of his moments for us.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. He's warning us. Remember, that champagne can get cold and it'll burn your eyes, guys. He's one of those guys. So what happens is Yasiel sees that this girl is interviewing a player, a Dodger player,
at the end of the game,
who just hit a home run or something. So she now sees that Yasiel is going to throw Gatorade on the guy, and she kind of takes off.
Right.
And he bypasses the guy and throws it on her.
And you hear groans in the stands.
And people, I was outraged. There was people behind the dugout in that area back there who were genuinely pissed off. Not as much as I was. And I said to David Bassett later on, I said, somebody better get in this guy's ear and tell this guy don't ever do that again.
Well, they all did it last night, so one bad apple spoils the whole group. Except for Andre Ethier. He was pretty cool. A.J. Ellis.
Well, of course, cool. All of those things are true. All of those wonderful things are true. But what sticks out is all of these guys who think that this is the last thing that they'll ever do in their life.
It might be. Dodgers will probably wipe out in the first round.
The legends of Ka'anapali Luau at the Ka'anapali Beach Hotel will take your breath away with an abundant feast, spellbinding dances and music from Lei Pono Productions. Be greeted with a lei and browse to see island crafts made by local artisans. As you hear the poop or conch shell blow, your luau experience will begin. The featured entree is a whole roasted pig and a bountiful menu of some of Hawaii's favorite food choices. Oh, you can't forget our famous made in-house taro poi. As your night comes to an end under the spell of the moon, be amazed by the famous firewalk. By the end of the night, you'll be full, and we hope you'll have made new friends and some forever memories while you continue to listen to music from Maui's local Hawaiian musicians every Monday night at Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel. Ka'anapali Beach Hotel voted Best Aloha Spirit by Hawaii Magazine readers. Call 667-0128 or visit legendsofka'anapali.com for your exciting island adventure.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California for our sizzling party savings. Book your wedding event or reception, your birthday bash, or a special event of any kind and celebrate at Angelo's and Vinci's. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's and celebrate in one of our many festive banquet rooms. It's an incredible fun event you will never forget. Food, music, and lots of fun. Call for the details, and don't forget our daily lunch and dinners, plus our Sunday champagne brunch. Just $14.95. Minestrone soup, sausage and peppers, pastas, chicken dishes, salads, scones, and muffins. Plus so much more, a chocolate fondue fountain, Zeppelis, cannolis, fresh fruit, champagne, and Junior will be waiting to make the omelet of your choice from our omelet bar. Angelo's and Vinci's has been voted on the Orange County Hot List as one of the top 5 Italian restaurants for the past 6 years. And don't forget our award-winning pizzas. Thin or thick, they're yummy. It's all at Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022, 714-879-4022.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. With one phone call, you'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information. It's a free service, so call now.
Call now, 800-704-6182, 800-704-6182.
Are you looking to increase the number of calls you receive at your business? Well, CRN Talk is introducing a new way for customers to reach you without having to remember your phone number or your website address. Customers simply dial pound 250 from their mobile phones and say your business name. That's it. They'll be directed immediately to your phone line and receive a text message with a link to your website and phone number. It's that easy. It works so well that we're using it in this commercial. To sign up, dial pound 250 and say get my keyword. That's pound 250 and say get my keyword. Welcome back to the PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn, the star of our show, the acting legend. Come on, Hunter, Crisis, Land's End. Got a new series coming up called Agent X. And of course, the sports and football legend, the one and only Mr. Fred Dry.
You know, we talk about a lot of stuff on this show, folks. We're not a rip and read duo here. You know, I'm not going to give you a log line of what the Phillies and the Cardinals are doing in the eighth inning. I'm just not going to do that. And we don't do that. We take a subject matter, we kind of look at it, toss it around like Dodgers win the West, and now they're 88.
That's how the West was won.
That's right. Thanks, Charlie. Charlie Steiner there, ladies and gentlemen.
Fly ball, right field, and it makes the catch.
And there's nothing in one. How many times do you think he'll say that in a year?
We're talking about
nothing. Yeah. We're having fun with it.
We're having some good. So anyway, we just believe that the celebration around the leagues, and I'm sure it does it with other teams too. We just happen to be doing the show from Hollywood, California. We're in Southern California, so to watch this, it gets a little bit out of control. You see guys in like deep sea diver goggles. They got weird, skin diver clothes on if they can. They're trying to. All of them are ganging up if there's a female reporter to douse it on her to get her all wet, throwing. Baby powder in her face. We hope it was baby powder. We don't know. Interviews were interrupted. I was like, how unprofessional can you be when this is just step one of a process where you now must win the League Division Series, then the National League Pennant, and then the World Series. There's 3 more series to go here, everybody. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, we're going to get 3 more of these?
I certainly hope so.
Jeez Louise. And here's the other thing. Leave Alana Rizzo alone. I don't know what it is. It's the only girl in the locker room.
Yes, she was the only girl.
She's the only one there. It might have been somebody else.
There might have been a couple others.
Yeah, but later on. But she was the only prolific one there. And leave her alone. Have the courtesy to not embarrass her and drown her. Let her do her job. Let her get in and get out because it's a tough thing to do to begin with. She's in there with all these guys and all these dopes. Who think that the more they drink, the more important the playoffs are. And I go off on this because, as I said before, I recognize an awful lot of this stuff, having been through a lot of this stuff before.
Let me ask you. This is what I wanted to ask you. You were with the Rams. You were on teams that won divisions and all this kind of stuff, won important games. Did you guys ever have a situation like this where you'd go nuts celebrating and somebody bring down beers and you guys never one time, right?
Never. We won the NFC Championship game in '79 in Tampa. Beat Tampa Bay, which was a very good team that year.
And so what did you do after the game?
We beat them 9-0 and had played a great game, and the game was over with. Now we're going to the Super Bowl to play the Steelers.
Right.
And we just shook hands and gave each other a hug and walked into the locker room, took our stuff off, put it in the bag. The doors opened up, and here came the press. And we talked to the press. Guys started taking showers, and we moved on down the road. And
that was it.
And the whole thing was, says, let's just wait and do it right when we win it. And that was the whole philosophy of it.
Yes.
But anyway, that's not the way it is. And, I kept seeing, there's a bottle of champagne and a can of beer for every pulled hamstring.
It was out of control, Fred. I'm just saying, you agree with me. And
it was.
People should look on YouTube. I'm sure it's posted up there. Look at Dodgers celebration. It was out of control. It was when I was a kid, I used to watch the Dodgers, and I thought about this. What do kids think now? Back in the day, Jerry Doggett and Vince Scully, Jerry would go down to the locker room and dress up in a raincoat because there'd be champagne. But they weren't spraying and Jerry Doggett with it. I mean, they'd dump champagne over each other's heads. They had respect for the announcers. They had respect for what was going on. There's no respect anymore. They're out of control.
But has that become the standard for success?
And that's what little kids will see and then say, that's what we can't wait to do that. We want to go dump, and pretty soon let's dump water on Daddy's head.
Yeah, well, my hat's off to Alana Rizzo for putting up with it, and she's a good sport. And she's very professional.
You could literally, I just want to say, I notice things because I observe. I'm in the business. As she's holding the microphone towards the end, that microphone was shaking. You could see her hand shaking. The beverage was so cold, and she was so cold that, and in shock that she was actually shaking her hand while she was doing the interview. You could actually see that.
Well, Jimmy Rollins did something that was interesting, right? Very subtly, he came over and he came behind her as she's on camera, and these guys are coming up behind her, and you can see that they're going, "Watch me! I'll get her. I'll put some wine in this can, and I'll douse her. Watch me! Embarrass this girl." But he came over and put a towel around her shoulders, which was a nice gesture. But about a six-pack and a dime too late.
That was towards the end of it. After she was literally shaking.
She had pneumonia. The ambulance was on its way over to
Jerry Hairston, former player and Dodger announcer. He was running around trying to get away from it. He was, well, that's cold. That's cold. Yeah.
No, Jerry's going to give you the 16 years of Jerry Hair's experiences in the locker room, saying to you and explaining to you just how important this moment is for the Dodgers, which is complete BS because they got a game tomorrow, they got a game the next day, and they got a playoff game coming up with the Mets, and that's not going to be no day at the beach.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
Are you worried about losing your home to foreclosure? If you've been threatened with foreclosure or received legal papers from your bank, you have approximately 30 days to respond. If you do not respond, you could lose your home. You have rights. Act now to protect your rights. You can stay in your home. Many times you can even modify your loan. The bottom line is you can get past this, but you must act right now. If you've been served by your bank and you're worried about losing your home to foreclosure, now is the time to fight back and save your home. Time is limited, so call the professionals at National Foreclosure Defense right now.
800-515-6309. 800-515-6309. 800-515-6309. 800-515-6309. That number again is 800-515-6309.
Do you still believe the old-fashioned notion that you're free to withdraw your cash from your bank as you wish? Ha! Don't bank on it. Truth is, if you have a bank account, you're a casualty of the government's war against cash, and don't even know it. According to The Secret War, a new white paper I just read, it's free to you right now by calling 800-630-1491, 800-630-1491. As I speak, governments are moving to outlaw cash to usher in a 100% cashless society. Why? Because with only 1% cash in existence, the giant money illusion, built 99% out of paper debt, could collapse overnight. No wonder banks must now spy on you for the government. No wonder banks are moving to limit cash withdrawals. No wonder savers are being pushed into riskier assets. Read The Secret War, free, by calling 800-630-1491. That's 800-630-1491.
Inventory is everything. Product sitting on shelves is money sitting on shelves. Managing our inventory is key. That's why I use KeepStock Solutions from Grainger. KeepStock Solutions help keep just the right amount of inventory on hand. KeepStock Solutions help keep the cost down. KeepStock Solutions keep me a happy camper. What's the key to better inventory management? KeepStock Solutions from Grainger. Get it? Got it? Good. Visit Grainger.com/KeepStock for more information. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The best show in the world is Two Scorpions and a Brandy Glass. I'm Barry Farber. It is nice when you call and say, "Oh, Mr. Farber, I agree with you," but that really gets us nowhere. I want your enmity, hostility. I want your questions. Give me a call right here on the Barry Farber Show. Weekdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio, the PM Show on sports. I'm Michael Horn, along with the star of our show, Mr. Fred Dreyer. And Fred, one other baseball note here. I mentioned the Dodgers clinching the West, and you got St. Louis and Chicago and Pittsburgh in, and Mets in the East. And you go to the American League, and you have Toronto coming in there in Kansas City, and then you look at this wild card, and you got the Yankees and the Angels and Houston and Texas looking to maybe get the division and all this stuff. And they're saying the Yankees, while they're in commanding lead for the first spot in the playoffs, these guys are slowing down. I mean, you got A-Rod is 40 years old. Carlos Beltran is getting up there. Brian McCann, Brett Gardner, their pitching staff. They got Justin Wilson, Andrew Miller, Dylan Betances, all these guys. They've got an older team right now, so it's going to be very interesting as we get into the playoffs to see who's going to do what and what's going to happen.
Well, then they have the experience to pace themselves.
Okay, that's a good point.
And they're veterans. They know what to do. They know what not to do, and they know when to step on the gas and when to rest a little bit. They know when to say to the manager, "Hey, I need today off." And so, and they know how to go into the training room and nurse the little bumps and bruises that they have. That's the whole benefit of. That's one of the reasons you want these older guys at this time of year, is because they bring an understanding and a savvy to this to playoff baseball, and it provides a great deal of leadership to the younger players.
Should be interesting. The playoffs should be interesting. Now, you said there's stuff going on in Hawaii. I love to get to Hawaii, and you're saying there's basketball action now going on in Hawaii? Is that
correct? That papaya. You want that papaya?
I want the papaya, and I like, all the coconuts and things.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I think aren't the Lakers over there playing basketball now?
It could be.
They're somewhere. I don't know where they are.
For hockey, this is my favorite time of the year. Football's going on. Baseball's in the playoffs. Hockey season is starting. You got basketball. Everything's going on at one time.
College football is in its fourth week.
This is great,
Pro football is just droning on.
You and I have our ping pong tournament.
Didn't we already pick our winners for pro football this week?
Yes, we did. We got them all.
Yeah, we got them all.
You and I did it. We just do straight pick-ems. We don't do the point spread.
Well, you know why I stopped doing the point spreads?
Why?
It's not fair because you don't really have the benefit of who's injured and who isn't, and who's available and who isn't. You have to know every single roster in order to feel comfortable and confident that I think I'm going to bet on this team. I know they're about 2.3 point dog. But you want to know who the hell's going to play.
Let me ask you something. You played football for so many years, and they didn't do this when you played it, but they're doing it now. Maybe they did. They made an exhibition game somewhere. They're playing a regular season game this weekend in London, England, in the jolly old country across the pond with the Brits, and it's going to be the Jets going up against the Dolphins, Miami going up against New York. If you went there and you were on the Rams or you started your career with the New York Giants, wouldn't that be kind of a strain on you going across there 10 hours difference and everything playing?
Yes.
It would be. I would think that if I was an owner of a team, I wouldn't want my team to participate in this.
They don't care about the players. They're paying a lot of money. You see, that's the one thing about the collective bargaining agreement is that once you are always complaining, I'm not getting paid enough. We're unhappy with pay.
Right.
We're unhappy with terms and conditions of our profession.
Right.
Okay. So once they say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you guys a load of money, and you split it up how you want to split it up. Okay.
Right.
Now you happy? Well, yeah. Are you happy? Okay. Sign the collective bargaining agreement. That means you're happy, aren't you? Okay. Fine. Now here's what you're going to be doing. And that's the way it works.
That's what they should
do. So shut up and go over there.
Yasiel Puig, outfielder for the Dodgers, they should send him to a baseball home run championship in Bulgaria.
They have to
send him. Why don't they do it in Bulgaria?
To
what? Where would you
Scottish psychotherapist.
Is that what you why Scottish?
Because they'll administer scotch.
Is that careful amounts of scotch?
No, they'll just get him drunk and then they'll slap him around and tell him,
okay.
Knock it off.
Could you be a manager in baseball today?
Yes, I could, buddy.
What would you do? What would you do with a team like? Let's take the Dodgers and just.
Well, if any team, is fed up, and they are. When they speak behind everyone's back, when they say, "You mean that bum we paid $16 million to is now got a bad leg for the third time this year?"
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Now that's all going on.
Yes.
So the answer to that is, and you could probably talk to Tom Story about this. The answer to that would be, well, I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mandate that these guys show up in camp and that they run. They run 3 miles for time, that they show me that their legs and their endurance is in tip-top shape.
Right.
And every week we're going to time them in the 40. Every week we're going to test their legs. We're going to make sure that these guys aren't playing golf and that they're going to be out here showing up. And if you get a pulled hamstring, you're going to be fined. And here's the fine schedule. This is the way it goes.
That's good.
And they say, well, you can't do that because they're collecting bargaining. Well, here's what you do. The next time the collective bargaining comes around, you put in these things. And you have to be willing to walk away from the game, from the sport. You have to be willing to go on strike for certain things you hold of value. The teams do not hold the players' responsibility for their own health as valuable. They don't care. And so, therefore, a guy shows up. He's making $16 million. He says, "Guess what? I stretched it out. I ran too hard to first base, and I've now got a pulled hamstring, and I'm going to miss 35 games."
That's a quarter of the season. And let me ask you this question too, because we looked at the football injury reports going into this weekend. Some of these teams have like 10 to 15 guys already on the injury list. The season's only 3 weeks old. What's going on?
That's right. They don't play injured anymore. And believe me, that's a sport that you do play injured. You have to because everybody's got something wrong with them.
Yeah.
But when somebody says, "Hey, I'm getting $16 million, I'm on my contract here,"
I'm not going to play.
I don't think if my knee's a little sore, I'm sitting these next 2 games out, and there's nothing anyone's going to do about it.
Wow.
Yeah, well, Wild's right, and that's the type of league you have, and that's what's going on. But there's also greatness in there too. There's also people who like Cal Ripken and all these guys who decide, and Tom Brady, I'm playing. I'm going to play every single practice. I'm going to play every single game, preseason game.
But then there's the 49ers.
How about them? That coach, I saw him on the sideline.
He looked defeated
He's a bartender.
already.
I saw that guy down at Venice Beach.
I think I saw him in the Dodger locker room this last night handing out.
No, he shows up. He shows up in different places, looking for a conversation to join. This guy, he's a defensive line coach, and the ownership says, "Okay, we're going to get rid of Harbaugh, and we got to get some leadership in here." And I guess leadership is a guy who yells and screams. So,
do you know who's at the Dodgers celebration last night? USC coach Lane Kiffin was there, going, "Woo-ha!" Going crazy.
He was?
No. All right, we'll continue straight ahead. It's the PM Show Weekend Edition with the one and only Fred Dreyer. Hey, we got to talk a little bit about Harry's shaving products here. This is great. This is Harry's products. He's got shave cream. He's got the razors. He's got everything you need. Fred Dreyer, you love these products. He's got a starter set, doesn't he?
I do indeed.
The starter set?
Harry's starter set is a month's worth of shaving and comes with a razor, 3 of Harry's high-quality German-engineered blades, and a bottle of shaving cream. All shipped straight to your door for free. Harrys.com was started by 2 guys who are passionate about creating a better shave. And let me just say something.
Yeah.
If when I do shave, and that's not often, I want to shave.
That's nice, close, and inexpensive.
That I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I don't have to shave now for an extra 4 or 5 days.
Here's the thing. I do the same thing. I say goodbye to the expensive brands, the cheap disposables, and I said hello to Harry's. High-quality blades, the price that I love. You go to harrys.com. You enter the code DRYER, D-R-Y-E-R, at checkout. You get $5 off your first purchase. You get a month's worth of shaving for just $10 with that code. Your name, DRYER, D-R-Y-E-R, at harrys.com. It's really good, and Harry's, to me, tell me the Superior Shave has got a great price. Am I right?
Well, they're giving $5 off of your first purchase of a starter set with a coupon code DRYER. That's D-R-Y-E-R.
That's your name.
After entering my code DRYER at the checkout, you can get Harry's starter set for just $10. That's $10 a month.
$10, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd give them $10 just for one great blade for one shave. Honestly, if you shave great, if you have a great blade, you shave close like that, you don't need to shave for a week.
Harry's bought a razor factory in Germany. They've been crafting some of the great things. Really, tell everybody, say goodbye to those expensive brands and those cheap.
It's a month's worth of shaving for just $10 with the code DRYER, D-R-Y-E-R, at checkout.
Go to harrys.com, harrys.com at checkout. Put the code word DRYER and get yourself really taken care of.
Harry will really shave you up too, buddy.
Welcome back to the weekend edition of the PM Show on Sports. I'm Michael Horn, the star of our show, ladies and gentlemen. A guy who is checking out his beard that he just had coiffed nicely and shaved with Harry's products, the one and only.
Trimmed up and very nicely.
Fred Dryer.
And the cream, sometimes people use a shaving cream. It's aerosol foam, that type of thing, or a gel.
Yeah.
But if you use the cream that Harry has, you just open the top up, squeeze a little bit out, and it blends right in. And here's the thing. When you put shaving cream on your face, then you have to kind of remove it to find out where you're shaving.
Right, exactly.
So if you got a beard like I do, or a goatee like I do.
You got the goatee, you're looking good.
But in order to trim around the proper edges, I don't want a lot of shaving cream stuck around there. So just give me the cream and then let that baby soak in, and I'm ready to go.
I think you and I are the only two gentlemen that host a show both having the facial hair, the mustache. I believe you.
Is this true?
Yeah, we're the Mustache Brothers. Mustache.
Let's get Tommy.
Mustache Fred and Mustache Mike. Can we get Tommy Lasorda?
Let's get Tommy on this and find out what
Tommy could get Mustache over there is good. Raleigh Fingers. Tommy, do you remember Raleigh Fingers?
Raleigh Fingers. Let me tell you something. You asked me about Raleigh Fingers?
Yes.
I want to tell you something about Raleigh Fingers.
Tell me about Raleigh.
When it comes to mustaches, there's a guy. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Raleigh Fingers.
Tell me about it, would you? Yeah, what about it?
Harry's razor blade.
Yes.
And that mustache.
Yes.
Go hand in hand.
Is that what he used?
That's right.
That's good German.
You take the ends of that mustache and then put and wrap it around the handles of each
of Harry's razors.
Of each one of his razor blades.
Raleigh
and he could shave you with his beard.
I understand Raleigh's mustache has gotten such a handlebar that he actually lays the ends over his ears now, doesn't he?
Yeah, the ends are not unlike real good reading glasses.
You old-timers that remember Raleigh Fingers, one of the great firemen, relief pitchers of all time. He was great.
Yeah,
Raleigh Fingers would come out
there. Fire. You needed a fire. You'd call Raleigh.
That handlebar going there.
He would shave while he put the fire out.
He was.
Harry's
fireman of the year. Raleigh Fingers was a fireman, and he'd come in from the bullpen in a hook and ladder truck.
Yeah, and he would shave everyone he saved, whether they liked it or needed it or not.
Really good. So there you have it. Okay, Harrys.com, code word DRYER when you check
I got to think this.
What?
Do you shave your legs? You don't shave.
No, I do not shave. I like to leave them all in the au natural, I like to call them.
Anyway.
Do you shave yours?
It all depends.
Don't answer that question. I don't want to even know the answer.
Depends where I'm going.
Pause. I too much information. Don't want to know about that.
If I'm wearing that pinafore, then I might.
Listen, this is a story. I interviewed a kid in college. Used to go to the Palomino Club, 5907 Lankershim Boulevard, North Hollywood.
Ooh, I love that.
Clint Eastwood would always do his movies there. You would hang out at the Pal, and I'd be in that back room, and I'd wait for the country acts to come off. And when Doug Kershaw came off, the crazy Cajun playing his
fiddle,
and he would play it between his legs behind his back and everything, and I set all up and I got ready to do the interview, and he says, I'm wearing pantyhose underneath I'm wearing pantyhose underneath my pants. And I went, oh, okay. And then I went on with the interview. I don't know if that was supposed to.
Come in lies.
I don't know why he shared that with me, but I was just a youngster.
He had instincts.
Luckily, there were people around me, and I was able to get an escort to my car. Not
instincts
taken advantage of.
Did he take you
Mr.
home?
He did.
Did you take him home?
I was ready to leave right after that, I tell you.
That was a great place.
I had to go find Tiny.
Remember
Tiny would be the bouncer at the door?
Big Tiny.
There was Billy and Tommy Thomas, and Tiny, who got hit with an arrow one time in his shoulder.
Tommy Thompson.
No, the Tiny at the door.
Yes.
Got hit. But
did he?
Yeah, Tommy Thomas and Billy Thomas were the owners of the Palomino Club.
But let me tell you.
Very nice to me as a kid in college.
I went in there one day and saw Nudi's Cadillac.
Oh, yeah. Nudi's Rodeo Tailors, right?
Yeah, right. He made me a shirt.
Did he? And he had the horns and the
he had the whole deal.
He hit the horn. He had the steer horns on the front. You hit the horn and it would go. Hand-made seats out of saddle leather. Yes,
really, really nice.
It was really nice.
Must have cost $10,000 just for a seat.
And they're reopening Nudi's, I think, in Santa Clarita. I saw an article about it. The daughter or something is
really
reopening up. So, do you still have the shirt that he made for you?
No, I don't have it.
You
I wish I did. I wish I did. I'd wear
what
it.
What did you do with it? You get kind of gnarly sometimes, and you throw stuff out. You go through a purge mode. I've been at your house when you've thrown out a perfectly good 60-inch rear projection TV, once owned by Wayne Gretzky, that I believe used to broadcast Dodger games, or they might have been football. I'm not sure, but the audio worked quite well, and you threw that out.
Then the orange went out, and then the orange went out, and so I got all of the
all blue and green.
I got all of the primary colors, thrown into one.
Fred used to start a career in artwork by just painting off the things that you saw modern art on your screen.
It was not good, but I got a new TV, and it's working splendidly now for me.
Found out you didn't need glasses after you got that new TV. You could see the picture perfectly.
I went from a 60-inch downstairs to a 32-inch. Upstairs.
And the 32-inch is much better.
That's great. No,
because
really,
it's
I'm
Samsung.
so glad I watched the Dodgers douse the champagne last night on that 32-inch.
It's so clear. You could even see the veins in Alana's neck, couldn't you? As she got cold, they were like...
She's a handsome woman.
Sticking out.
She does a great job, and she genuinely loves her job. And those players really do like her. She's very professional, and believe me, she comes looking for these guys to pull them out to do interviews and stuff, and they don't mind. They don't give her a hard time. That's a tough job for her. They could say
tough job for any announcer, let alone a woman.
Yeah, well, athletes will. They just.
Did you ever? You played in the era where there were no female announcers, and then they came into the locker room around the era you played. Didn't you have some females?
Yeah, they came in.
It was kind of like a weird time, wasn't it, when they were first breaking?
Yeah, I remember the first day they made an announcement.
When we come back, we got to tell her. I got to hear this story.
They made an announcement that
hear about this.
Somehow I didn't get.
Okay, we got to hear this story from Fred Dreyer coming up on the PM show. Don't go away. CRN travelers, relax at the beautiful Fountain Grove Inn and Conference Center in Santa Rosa, California. Come to quality and come to luxury. Experience the newly renovated guest rooms. They're generously sized and they're decorated in the Tuscan tradition. They have great, incredible pillow-top mattresses, luxurious linens, and down-filled comforters. The Fountain Grove Inn also offers complimentary Wi-Fi and Internet access. There's warm cookies and coffee every evening in the hotel lobby, and you can visit the newly remodeled Equus Restaurant and Equus Lounge with its new wine bar. It's the ideal place to relax and enjoy a glass of wine, and watch our What's Cooking on Wine show on CRN with host Larry Van Alst on Wednesdays. It's the Fountain Grove Inn, Hotel, and Conference Center, located in the heart of Sonoma wine country. It's easily located in Santa Rosa off the 101 Fountain Grove Parkway exit. Call 707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101 or visit fountaingrovinn.com.
Are you nearing eligibility for Medicare benefits? Then you know now is an important time in your life. Medicare benefits can be a complicated puzzle. You don't want to overpay for your Medicare coverage or get the wrong plan. Let Health Markets Insurance Agency help you. With one free phone call, a licensed insurance agent will help you select a Medicare plan that's right for you and your budget. If you're becoming eligible for Medicare, call today and learn how to get the most out of your benefits.
800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA or assumed name of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., which is an authorized insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Not all agents are licensed to sell all products. Service and product availability varies by state.
Call 800-793-1960, 800-793-1960, 800-793-1960, 800-793-1960.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808. Welcome back to the PM Show Weekend Edition on Sports from CRN Digital Talk Radio. Email Fred Dreyer. Fred Dreyer, F-R-E-D is your Fred Dreyer, D-R-Y-E-R,
that's right.
at crntalk.com. crntalk.com. Download our cell phone app. It's free for your smartphone. Just on any smartphone, dial pound 250, pound 250, and hit send. When the call is answered, it'll ask for the keyword, say CRN Talk, and our app will be loaded right to your phone for free. You can listen to Fred Dreyer and follow him and podcasts and all that good stuff. Now, we had a story here, Fred. You were playing in football. You're a legendary football career.
Let me just set it up for you.
Yes.
Here's the deal. In the era of the 70s, they were going to, and they did, decide to integrate the locker room with female reporters.
Right.
And so they made an announcement to the players, and they had the publicist for the Rams come in and say, "Okay, fellas, we're gonna."
Is that the way he talked?
Yeah. Okay, you guys, listen up. Listen up. We got some guys. You guys listening up back there? Yeah. Go ahead.
Soft-spoken publicist.
Yeah, he says, well, we're going to have to have women. Women are a great part of this culture. You went on that route.
You went that whole thing.
He explained
it. Politically correct then.
Explained to us all about women.
Women.
You know the reason for women, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
so he went through this whole thing to get to the point where we're now going to let women come into the game. So when you come in off the field, expect to see some women there. So go accordingly. And what does go accordingly mean?
What did that mean?
You got to cover up all your junk. You got to get everything squared away,
right?
And you got to be respectful.
Exactly.
Okay. So I didn't get the message.
Wait a minute. So I came. What do you mean by you didn't get the message?
I didn't get it.
You weren't there.
I for somehow it didn't stick with me. So
what happened?
You're bound to make a mistake.
Of course you are.
So you got a ton of people in the
locker room after the game.
Yeah, they're waiting outside to get it to go through your clothes while you're taking a shower. And
I didn't know that part.
I always believed that there was
somebody.
It only takes one.
Taking $5 out
somebody was saying, Fred Dreyer's got some money. I think. He got those jeans over there. I'm going to rifle those jeans while he's in the shower. So anyway, I come out of the shower.
Yeah.
So I come out of the shower and
I
come out of the shower and I don't shower with my clothes on. So I come out of the shower.
Did you have a towel?
And I'm whistling. I got.
You're drying your back. You're drying your back.
Oh, what a wind that was! And I'm dusting off my back.
Yes.
And I walk around the corner from the shower right into a flotilla of reporters standing in front of this bank of lockers.
Yes.
and it's numerical. The Rams, put everybody by, starting number 1 over there all the way around to number 90, which was Larry Brooks. Right. And of course, yours truly is 89. Yep. And then there's Jack, who's 84, 85, and Jack Snow, 84, and so forth. And then so they're always talking. They always come over to the defensive side where Merlin, myself, and everybody else is. And so I walk over and I walk right into I excuse myself. And I walk right into my locker. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Thank you. Good to see you. And I walk into my locker, and then I turn around in front of my locker to face everybody. And there's 2 female reporters standing right in front of me.
Their mouths,
they were staring. They were doing such a great job.
What damage you caused to those young ladies.
Keeping eye contact.
They're staring right at you. They didn't do one of those guy things where the guys start to drop their eyes.
No. Did
you take the towel and then cover yourself properly?
Well, of course, yeah. It slowly worked its way down there. But I had to dry my hair off.
I'm talking about the towel.
Yeah. So anyway, I lowered the curtain, and we continued the afternoon. I said, something? I just totally forgot you girls were going to start coming here now.
Follow Fred, if you will, on Twitter. Fred _Dryer.
What are you guys doing after the game?
_Dryer. That's our show. Final thoughts from Fred Dryer.
Well, that's sexist if you ask a girl out under that premise. You have to wait till she's off duty before you can ask her out.
Enjoying all your favorite CRN programming is easier than ever. It's right on your TV, through your local cable provider, and on the web at crntalk.com. But when you're on the move, stuck in a plane, train, or in your car, catch up on all the shows you missed. Or listen live to your favorites. Download our CRN app from your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Just search for CRN Digital Talk Radio. Or search for your favorite CRN shows on apps like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, AHA Radio, uTunes, and Nobex. Now you have access to all of our great shows anywhere in the world and the ability to be part of them by calling our toll-free studio line at 800-336-2225. For more information on where and how to listen, log on to crntalk.com and create your own listening experience today.
The radio channels. The radio channels. CRN.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Ron Delarson. Well, the government will stay open for business at least for a while.
Congress dodging a possible midnight shutdown by approving a short-term funding bill that keeps the lights on through December 11th. The measure continues funding at current levels while House and Senate leaders search for a more long-term solution.
Correspondent Wally Hines. Defense Secretary Ash Carter said Wednesday that the Russian airstrikes in Syria appear to have targeted areas that do not include Islamic State fighters. Meanwhile, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon says the Palestinian flag raising at the United Nations today was a milestone.
The symbolism of raising your flag at the United Nations reflects the commitment of the Palestinian Authority to pursue the long-held dream of the Palestinian people for their own state.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said the flag will be raised soon in Jerusalem, which he called the capital of the Palestinian state. About 6,300 newly released emails show Russian-linked hackers tried at least 5 times to pry into Hillary Clinton's private email account while she was Secretary of State. Clinton received infected emails disguised as speeding tickets over 4 hours early on the morning of August 3rd, 2011. But it's unclear if she clicked on any of the attachments and exposed her account. National Hurricane Center Director Rick Knapp says forecasters are planning to get more data to try to pin down Hurricane Joaquin's likely path.
We're going to be throwing a lot more aircraft resources at this problem over the next few days.
Forecasters say that if Joaquin clears the Bahamas and turns toward the U.S., it could wreak havoc in areas along the East Coast that have already